I knew 0 songs.
Yeah.
Now, not saying he actually had a really good performance. He actually had a really good performance, but there was one part of the performance
Yeah.
that was astonishing to me.
Right after he fell through the house.
And they showed a truck, and they showed the two dudes at the truck with the door open. And then them dudes was bumping bananas. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? But you want to know what? That wasn't the gayest thing about the halftime show.
What was?
The gayest thing about the halftime show had nothing to do with what actually happened in the halftime show. It had everything to do with all the hateful white people who didn't want to see beautiful, thick Latin women shaking yams. Why are you gay?
Why are you gay?
Welcome. This is the Between Brothers podcast, where we give you real talk, authentic takes, and laughs on sports, pop culture, and life. I'm your host, the Duke of the Bananas, Lando, in the building along with my Super Bowl predicting brother, Zero. 2 years in a row, back to back like Drake. And it was for the very reason that he said, Zero, how was your week, man?
It's been all right. Work as usual. Um, so of course, watched the Super Bowl while I was watching Super Bowl while I was cooking dinner, and yeah, it was pretty exciting. I know we gonna get into that, but it was a pretty good game. I watched a video about this guy named Jaguar Gator 9, and he did a video talking about how this past Super Bowl was damn near exactly identical to Super Bowl 11. It's like it's funny because he said the way that the team's last touchdown was a pick six. That's exactly how the Super Bowl 11 ended when the Raiders played the Vikings, I believe. Um, and there was also both Super Bowls are also ones where the MVP did not score a touchdown because Fred Biletnikoff he had 11 catches, but he didn't score, and he won MVP. And you got Kenneth Walker having 161, I think, total yards, and he didn't score either, and he got the Super Bowl MVP. Yeah, it was. Yeah, all everything that lined up was interesting, and I bought another Michael Jackson album. This time it was the number ones. So I got so that's five. I got to get Invincible. I don't know where the hell I'm gonna find that though, but I got to get it.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Which album? You said just the number ones?
Yeah, it was the number ones. So I got off the. So I got his first. So I got off the wall, Thriller, Bad, Dangerous, and number ones. So I had to get History, Invincible. I was thinking about Blood on the Dance Floor, but most of that is remixes. But yeah, I don't know if I'll get that.
All right, bet. So my week was okay. Sunday we cashed on some bets. I told y'all I haven't really been betting much. My work schedule doesn't really give me a lot of time to do a lot of research for betting. Um, so so I didn't really bet much this year. I think I placed a total. No, I made a bet a total of 8 times, um, or 8 different days. I guess I should say 8 Sundays. 8 Sundays. So that's not including my preseason stuff. So and it wasn't because I was losing money. I actually finished positive on the year, mainly because of the Super Bowl. But it wasn't like I was losing money or losing tons of money. It was just I didn't have any time to do the research to feel comfortable to making some bets a lot of weeks. So Super Bowl, um, we did well. I placed two bets. One was for the Seahawks to cover, and then I did an alternate spread for them to cover by the spread was 4.5 when I placed the bet, and then it started at a line open at 3.5, but I placed another bet at minus 13.5 for Seattle. So that was plus 380, I think. And so yeah. So we was able to make, you know, 5x the money that we put in. Um, because they end up winning by more than 14 points. Um, so that was good. Um, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much been how the week was. So let's get to it. Let's address the elephant in the room, and that is the Super Bowl. Zero called it. We both called it. We were on the same side. Seattle winning. Zero said because of the defense. That was mostly why they won. I said a little more than the defense was Seattle was just more talented across the board, maybe except at quarterback. Um, but Sam Darnold showed that he really was a talented quarterback. Like people forget he was the third overall pick from the Jets. People forget that it was the Browns. The Browns being weird is what made him not the first overall pick in that draft. And he's the first quarterback out of that draft to win a Super Bowl. Even though everybody's been hyping up all three or three of the quarterbacks that were taken. Two of them was drafted after Sam Darnold. So it's not like they had Super Bowl winning expectations like Sam Darnold did, but Sam Darnold's story, his redemption story, is huge. He had the true redemption story, unlike what people try to give Geno Smith. But but yeah, we called it. We hit it right on the head. We we the schedule, the soft schedule seems like it was an issue. Um, and people trying to give Drake May credit for playing tough defenses on the way, but like I told a friend of mine who's a Seattle or not Seattle, who's a Patriots fan, like yo, like it's easy to beat somebody up when they ain't fighting back. You know what I'm saying? Like if the offense ain't giving you nothing to think about, you know what I'm saying? And like where you're not like you can screw up as Drake May was doing all postseason. You can play as badly as you want and still have confidence that you can win games because your defense is so dominant and you're not playing very talented offenses. So, so that was exposed. I think they said most Super Bowl winning teams play like bottom 10 schedules. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, that offensive line, the two rookies on the left side, they were pushed around, they were dominated. They gave up 6 sacks. Drake May, the the fumble was bad that he had in the first half. That interception he threw to, was it Love?
Yeah, I think it was Julian.
That was one of the worst throws I've seen in a Super Bowl.
Hey, you never seen Neil O'Donnell.
That wasn't in the Super Bowl, though, was it?
Yes, it was. It was like Neil O'Donnell threw two of the worst interceptions in the Super Bowl history, and the Jets said, "That's our guy." Yeah, that
Oh
was
my God.
yeah. So
Um,
the Jets said, "That's our guy."
that being said, um, let's just address initially, what did you think about the game itself overall?
Honestly, nah, I thought it was pretty good. Of course, like it was like what Chris Collinsworth said. It was like the tone was set early. It's like this was going to be a defensive battle until it wasn't. So it was like like I said, going in, I thought the Seahawks, their front four was going to be the deciding factor in this game because like they don't have a double digit sack. I don't think they had a double digit sack guy all year, but the way that they pressured the quarterback, like I said, and seeing Will Campbell, and they said it was a problem all year. Will Campbell always getting knocked back into the quarterback. It was like, yo, get your base right because you shouldn't keep on getting knocked back into the quarterback. It was like damn near every single snap. Um, I wish they never took that touchdown away from Kenneth Walker. That would have sealed the deal. But it was like, so the hold killed it, but it was like he did his thing, especially without Charbonnet Charbonnet tearing his ACL during the playoffs. Um, I thought I thought Sam Darnold did what he needed to do, which was not turn the ball over, even though in the course of the game it just seemed like he could not. It's like completing a pass was not. It was like completing a pass just wasn't there. I think at one point he was like 10 of 23. It was like Njigba couldn't get rolling. He ended up getting a concussion, but he did come back into the game. But
Well, he
that
wasn't concussed because he wouldn't have been able to come back in the game. They
like
just they
he
just tested him.
so what's it called? The um the way that defense played, the way that they blitzed, like pressure from everywhere. Like that was a great defensive performance. Like I said, I went in thinking that the defense was going to be the reason as to why. All they did was prove me right because that was Witherspoon flying in. It's like the line didn't know what to do. It's like linemen were just whiffing on blocks. He didn't know what to do. So and Drake, when he threw that interception, it showed that internal clock sped up, and he wasn't getting that. He wasn't getting them. It's like when he's finally getting himself together. It's like it's like he was seeing ghosts again through that interception. Yeah, through that interception was bad. What was it? He had 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Well, 3 touchdowns because one of them was a pick six, even though it should have been a sack fumble.
Saying he threw 3 touchdowns is crazy.
No, but yeah, I enjoyed watching that game. I just wish it would have ended in a shutout because that's what I want to see. I want to see a Super Bowl shutout.
Yeah, the closest team that I can think of that did it, that the closest team was that 2000 Ravens team. And the one touchdown they gave up was
A
the
special
special
teams.
teams. Of all things. Of all things.
So we can only score if Ray Lewis and them aren't on the field. I bet you would have been a shutout if Ray Lewis played special teams.
They said they had the Ravens defense like a little interview or something with all of them, and they said that still haunts them. That and they were like, because we had great special teams too. Like, how does that happen? Of all like it just didn't make sense to them. They're like, even our special teams is like the best in the league, and like our kick is the best in the league, and the one touchdown we gave up was on that.
Yeah,
But
what's it called? You could also say maybe, but I just think that was just bad football when the Patriots played the Rams and that game was won 10-3. I don't know if it was like a great
no,
defensive
I
performance or if that
don't.
was just bad football.
Was it 10-3 or 13-3?
It was 10. Or let me go and check before, but I believe it was 10.
But I think a lot of it was bad football. But I want to say that the Rams had scored the three pretty early. Like, I don't think it was looking like it was supposed to be a shutout. That was probably the worst. I
Yeah, it
usually,
was 13-3.
yeah,
Yeah, and
I've
the Rams kicked their field goal in the third.
in the third. Okay, I thought it was like closer to. I thought it was in the second. Like, yeah, I thought they scored at halftime
No,
or
the
before halftime. But
I think it was New England who scored before halftime. They got the three. That was bad football though.
but but my thoughts on the Super Bowl was a lot of people were saying that the game wasn't entertaining. I enjoyed the game. People was like, oh, man, there wasn't really no offense going on. I'm like, I just enjoy football. Now that 13-3 New England Rams game, that was mostly just bad football, not necessarily like good defense. Like I think like some people, a lot of people can't tell the difference. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even like New England, like for what that game was and the final score, how it ended up, happening. New England's defense was spectacular for real, for real. Christian Gonzalez might have, if it wasn't for him getting hurt damn near every year, he might actually be the best corner in football. I think just health wise, Patrick Surtain the second might just have that edge because he plays 17 games. But no, he literally kept them from getting blown out. Milton Williams,
Mm-hmm.
Milton Williams was he wasn't getting sacks, but the pressure, and he was actually dominant in that game, but he just didn't get the sacks because Sam Darnold, use his feet very well in the pocket. But it's just but nobody could block him though. You know what I'm saying? It's just like those things got overlooked because Drake May couldn't get it done the other end. And so that was a good defensive game. It wasn't just two offenses that couldn't do nothing, couldn't get off. couldn't find a rhythm, anything like that, because they just were bad. That's what the Rams, the Jared Goff Rams game was. But the one thing I would say that I didn't like in the first half, I felt like Seattle was playing it safe a lot. Like it felt like they were okay with settling for field goals.
Yeah.
And
It almost felt like drives were just stalling.
because they weren't being aggressive, which I guess, the game plan was, okay, don't turn the ball over, Sam. I think Sam Darnold's the only quarterback to lead the NFL in turnovers during the regular season and win the Super Bowl. And ironically, he led the league in turnovers. Then in the playoffs, didn't turn the ball over at all. Talk about a 180. And so that I just loved the game because it was great defense played on both sides, like defenders making plays, not bad offense. Because a lot of people's like, oh, if it's low scoring game, it's a defensive struggle. No, sometimes it's an offensive struggle. As in the defense ain't really doing a whole lot. It's just the quarterback play and the running the offensive line play is just so pathetic. You can't. It looks like the defense is playing well, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
So my thoughts are overall, I enjoyed the game. The game itself. Drake May, I think they said he threw for 260 yards in the fourth quarter alone, and they were trying to give him credit for that. And I'm like, stop it. Like, like cut it out. Like he made two good throws the whole game, and that's what led to their first touchdown drive. Like he was pathetic the whole game. And he's a second year player. He's young, very young, 23 years old. And the Patriots won't be back anytime soon. And when I say anytime soon, I'm talking about like in the next 2 years. Like, so I shouldn't say. But back to the Super Bowl. But they might not make the playoffs next year, just because of how bad that was, and also other teams will be getting better, and they won't have the softest schedule in football. So we'll see how well Vrabel coaches them up. But yeah, Drake May was not very good. He's a talented guy, but yeah, just like I said, the interception to Love, he threw a few balls up for grabs. There was one play where a ball got tipped. I don't know who the safety was. Literally didn't care about the football. He could have easily had an interception, and instead he runs smooth past the ball while it's floating just to hit somebody. So Josh McDaniels made no adjustments blocking scheme wise. They're pushing around the left side of your team. Like they're not really blitzing, so running screenplays and things of that nature wouldn't necessarily help them.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But try try to get the ball out of his hands quickly. You know what I'm saying? Quick slants, crossing routes, drag routes, like something. Like try something to get the ball moving. So Josh McDaniels, and how many Super Bowls does he have as an offensive coordinator? You know what I'm saying? Like he's been there so often. There's no reason why he shouldn't have been able to make those adjustments. I don't know who calls the plays for the defense, but Vrabel being a defensive guy, the defense did what it was supposed to do. They got gassed a few times on the ground, but there's only but so much you can do when your team punts the ball 9 times in a row.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, I looked at the. Of course, they don't have the schedule set, but the New England's going to be playing the NFC North,
Mm,
the NFC North,
mm,
the, the AFC West,
mm.
and their extra opponent is Jacksonville at Jacksonville.
Well, their extra opponent.
Remember, 17 games. Yeah, they don't play the AFC South, but they're playing Jacksonville next year.
No, what I'm saying, no, I'm trying to think. Because you get 6 division games, right?
Yeah,
6, then 4 NFC, 1 division. So that's 10. Then another division, that's 14. So it used to be that you would play a first place team or a second place team in other divisions.
yeah. So
So
they're
Jacksonville wouldn't necessarily be an extra team. That would be their AFC South team, and then their AFC. That would have been the AFC South team that they play. And then what's the other AFC division? Where am I
the
missing?
West.
They're
So
playing.
they're
So
playing
they would play an AFC North team, which should be either.
it's gonna be the Steelers.
So it's going to be still. So who's the extra team?
Seattle.
No, you said they play the NFC West.
No, the
No, they play
AFC
the
West.
NFC North. Yeah, so
Yeah,
Seattle's a yeah. So they have to play the first place team from one division in the in the in
in
the
the
NFC.
NFC.
That's what the 17th game is now. Yeah, because you always play everybody or at least one team in every division. So their extra game is the Seattle game.
Okay, because when I was looking at it, yeah,
Yeah, no, no, no.
they
When you
got
said
one,
it,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 9 away games and 8 home games.
yeah, so that makes it a little tougher as well. So yeah, no, when you said the Jaguars were the extra team, I'm like, no, I don't think that's how that works. I think they would have always played the Jaguars. I think the additional team was another out of conference team, usually a first or second place team um, from out of the conference. So when they played the NFC North, who still probably the best division in football right now, overall from top to bottom. So yeah, it's a tougher schedule, significantly tougher schedule.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't think they'll be back next year. But kudos to Seattle. Mike McDonald, I think he's the second youngest head coach.
Third.
Third. Who was younger than him? Tomlin and who else?
McVay.
McVay. Okay. McVay's the youngest.
Yeah.
Okay. So shout to him. He's the first defensive play caller because Mike Tomlin wasn't a defensive play caller for the Steelers when they won. So yeah, he's the first defensive play caller. The way he dealt with that schematically, though, like the blitzes were always timed well. The Patriots, I don't think they knew what a hot read was. There was all right. You got a corner showing blitz off the slot.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't hear no kill, kill, kill. You ain't hear. I don't think Drake May called an audible the entire game, which kind of makes sense because he's a second-year player.
They probably don't trust that he's going to be able to. No, but
But
that still be weird though.
But don't they prepare for that though? Like, yo, okay,
Yeah, it was like you.
if this is what's going on, I want you to switch to this. If the coach, because I know they say the microphone
No,
cuts
yeah,
off like
cuts off at like 15 seconds.
yeah, it's like it wasn't like they were showing blitz late. I'm like, okay, as a like, how do you not read that, or even like the receiver, like make yourself available, like You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, he's coming,
Yeah.
he's blitzing off of me. Run. Hey, I'm here.
It's like I'll
A
take
quick.
my chewing out on the sideline after. But it's like, you look,
But I don't
I
think that he
see it.
would have got chewed out. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the receivers would have gotten chewed out. I think that's just like, especially somebody like Stephon Diggs, who's a vet, who's a real vet in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't you make yourself available? Like, hey, I'm not gonna run that pattern because this blitz is coming. And it's just like the New England just seemed very underprepared offensively for the things that Seattle was doing. And not only that, it's like you're a Bill Belichick protege, as in not Mike Vrabel, but Josh McDaniels. And it's like y'all were playing Bad Bunny music to simulate the Super Bowl.
Wait, what?
They were simulating in practice the long half times, but you didn't simulate how to go up against a blitz.
Like when halftime hits, you're not going to be playing football. You'll be
No, but
sitting.
that's what I'm saying. Like that because like
Uh,
you don't want to go like you want them to like because since the halftime is so much longer, like it makes sense because it's like okay, like how are you going to keep yourself warm? How are you going to keep yourself mentally into it? Like okay, you had that much preparation to even simulate the halftime break, but you didn't simulate your quarterback making a hot read. Yeah, no, they were supposed to have the coaching advantage. They got out coached. Um, they got outplayed. They got out hustled. So that was the game. There's not really much more to add to it. Um, as usual, who you got going to the Super Bowl next year?
um, I got L.A. Rams, and I'll say I'm gonna reach here. I'm gonna say Buffalo.
That ain't happening. Nah, but
I would pick my team, but I think they're still a year away from. They're still a year or two away from getting that roster right.
yeah. So I want to ask you this: the Rams played Seattle very well
Mm-hmm.
every game. It seems like Sean McVay knew how the defense would operate and was always prepared, even though they lost that game, which was weird. I still don't understand why the clock didn't stop with when Puga went out of bounds. But
How did he go out of bounds?
I thought he went out of bounds himself. But I think if you get pushed out of bounds, the clock doesn't stop. But
Like, because I think if you're moving, I think if you're moving backwards.
no, he wasn't because he caught it on the sidelines.
Okay, because it was like if he was yeah, because if he was moving backwards, then the time still continues running, I believe.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't understand it. I still don't understand it, but it's not like they had they still would have had to throw a Hail Mary, to end the game, but it would have been a 40-yard pass versus, 60, 70-yard pass or whatever. So
Mm.
so I think that they're good enough. If they could bolster their defensive backfield, I think they'll be good enough to win the Super Bowl next season if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy. Seattle, of course, is a big option. Philadelphia is still one. I don't care what any of y'all say. Philadelphia is still one of the best teams, and then of course the Packers. So I'm gonna say LA for now, but I'm actually leaning Green Bay a little bit. Actually
Okay.
leaning Green Bay from the NFC. The AFC, oh man, like it's tough, but I think next season, Josh Allen had his chance and blew it. So I think next season is the Ravens season to make it to the Super Bowl because I don't think Mahomes is going to be back next season. So I think next season, because they're still very talented across the board, and it's just one they never really, their offensive coordinator was pathetic. They're again they got a new head coach, or have they hired a new head coach?
Ravens,
Yeah, who's their new head coach?
Jesse Minter.
That's what it was. Got a new head coach, um, and Lamar's going to have a lot to prove, and I think if Lamar can stay healthy, especially now that they'll actually have a real defensive coordinator, um, and Kyle Hamilton is still the best safety in football, I think that they'll be able to buckle it down, and win a lot of games next season. So I'm going Rams, Ravens. I'm not going to pick a winner this right now, um, but Rams, Ravens, and of course, as the all season progresses, we have the right to reserve the change. As rosters start to fill out and drafts happen and stuff like that. But way too early Super Bowl predictions. Uh, Zero got Bills, Rams. I got Rams, Ravens. Josh had a chance. He could. Um, now, I'm going to get to the halftime show, but there is something I want to ask you, I want to address, and that's Drake May's performance specifically against Seattle. Did his performance against Seattle prove that he shouldn't have won MVP because Matthew Stafford didn't have none of them problems with Seattle facing them 3 times? You're muted.
That he should have won MVP.
No, because there was Patriots fans and people saying that he should have won MVP. So did his performance prove that he wasn't the real MVP?
Well, I don't. You know what? My thing is this. To me, it doesn't matter because it's a regular season award. So nothing he does in the playoffs would for me anyway would factor into what he did during the season. Yeah, during the regular season. I think Matthew Stafford should have won free and clear. I don't know why it was even close, but it's probably because of the team's record. And them being the number 2 seed is the reason why Patriots fans or any other fans are saying this. But his performance didn't sway me one way or the other. They had a weak schedule. They had a weak schedule. And then if they want to bring up the playoffs, they played a team with no offensive line twice and a backup.
Well, I'm not talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about their common opponent. Like I said, Matthew Stafford did not have no issues dealing
Not
with the Seattle defense, while Drake May had every issue dealing with
not
the Seattle
no
defense.
and what's it called? I don't think that he should have. Yeah, I don't. Regardless of how they would have how he Drake performed, I still wouldn't have thought that Drake deserved to win MVP. It's like, Stafford had a great
I,
year.
okay, I guess what I'm trying to say, because like Stafford deserved the MVP, and that's not what I'm asking. I guess I'm more asking, did it validate the vote? Because he
What
won by
for
one
how
vote. He won by one vote. So a lot of people was like, if some random dude didn't vote for um, Justin Herbert, or the two votes that one of the two votes that went to Josh Allen would have first place votes that went to Josh Allen would have went to him. He's the MVP. And then when they go up against a common opponent, they see Matthew Stafford put on a performance. They see you put on, awful performance. Then critics may have been like, maybe Stafford should have won MVP versus Drake May. So it's like, does it valid like it's kind of like when the MVP, specifically in the NBA, when the MVP, he's a guy on the best team, best guy on the team with the best record, and then they lose in the playoffs. Lobby, and then especially if they lose to the guy who was the runner up,
Mhm.
it always that conversation comes up where it's like, shoot, like bro shouldn't have won MVP. This person should have won MVP. Just like if SGA goes up against Jokic in the playoffs, it's like, and it's like whoever loses, because they're 1 and 2 in the MVP race. Whoever loses, if when SGA won his championship, it validated him, while Jokic, it a lot his when he won his first MVP and I think he got swept. It was like, yo, like maybe he shouldn't have got it. Maybe it should have went to the number two guy, because the number two guy actually did work in the playoffs. Even though it's a regular season award, there are things that happen in the postseason, especially in races this close, where people will be like, will say, oh, like told you so. Like I said, it doesn't validate the decision, because a lot of people, and there were 23 people who voted for Drake May and 24 people that voted for Matthew Stafford. It was one by one vote. Are the 24 people that voted for Matthew Stafford, when they had a common opponent, how Matthew Stafford performed, how Drake May performed, does it validate that the MVP voters made the right decision?
Um, well, in a sense, you could say, yeah, it validates them, but still, my thought process is my thought process is like, like, let's just say Drake May had a great performance against Seattle. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter because Matthew Stafford won the damn thing. So it's just for me, yeah, for me, I'm like, okay, Drake May didn't have a great game. Yeah, didn't have a great game against Seattle. And Matthew Stafford, this is a common opponent for him. They played each other 3 times this year. So he played them 3 times this year. He did work against them every time. But but what's it called? I don't know if it would have. Yeah, that's why I always have a problem with the postseason stuff, because whenever it's like when you mentioned Jokic, they said when Jokic got swept, is that maybe we should have gave it to SGA. It's like
No, it wasn't that year. I think it
it,
was the
it
year
wasn't
that
that year.
when he got swept. I think it was Giannis who was the runner up.
Oh, okay, but it's like yeah, it's like for me, it's like at that point when yeah, at that point doesn't necessarily matter too much if It's like, did the if the voters got it wrong or not because of what they did in the postseason? It's like it's already been awarded. Yeah, it's already been awarded. We gotta. It's like a. It's a. I yeah. I don't really feel like with Drake May's performance that it validates who that Matthew Stafford won the MVP. It's like Matthew Stafford had the better year. Like I said, I think Drake May got what he got because he was a second year player on a team that was the second seed in the AFC, and folks valued that versus Matthew Stafford, whose team was the fifth seed, but he still had a great year, but his team was the fifth seed, and now folks are teetering on the fence with that. It's like, look, I think they made the right choice, regardless of if Drake May did well or not.
Gotcha. Okay, so the halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
So when they announced Bad Bunny,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who that was. Duchess was like, you know some of his songs. She was like, one of the songs he did with Cardi B. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And of course, she don't know the names of no songs. So it didn't help.
It's like but if you say them, I maybe I could be reminded if you remember them.
I'm like, what song with Cardi B? You know. I don't even listen to Cardi B like that. So why would I
How would
know
I
that?
know?
Why would I know that? But I watched the whole halftime show. I knew zero songs.
Yeah.
Now, not saying he actually had a really good performance. He actually had a really good performance, but there was one part of the performance
Yeah.
that was astonishing to me.
Right after he fell through the house.
And they showed the truck, and they showed the two dudes at the truck with the door open. And then them dudes was bumping bananas. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? But you want to know what? That wasn't the gayest thing about the halftime show.
What was?
The gayest thing about the halftime show had nothing to do with what actually happened in the halftime show. It had everything to do with all the hateful white people who didn't want to see beautiful, thick Latin women shaking yams. Why are you gay?
Why are you gay?
Because if you watched it for nothing else, you should have done systematic evaluations on the dance moves.
Systematic evaluations over systematic racism. Yeah.
You should not be that committed to hating people of color
Because the
that you miss
cameraman,
out on that you miss out on jiggling cheeks. That's all I'm
yo,
saying.
the cameraman was extra focused. I don't think he wanted to. I don't think he wanted to film that.
Matter of fact, we didn't even need Bad Bunny. We could have just listened to him.
He could have been in the speakers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we watching? Why are we really watching this? None of us know what he's saying,
And then,
but we know what they saying. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and then you got
we speak in Yemenese.
you know, yo, and oh, what's I went to a customer's home, and these are older, like really old white folks.
Mm-hmm.
They said They said, "Did you watch the Super Bowl?" Because they're from Seattle. He said, "Did you watch the Super Bowl?" She was like, "How about a halftime show?" I'm thinking to myself, they watched it. Just like, some of the dancing I wasn't too fond of, but that was a great halftime show.
It was a great show.
It was.
Jay-Z strikes again. Ever since there has not been a no, I wouldn't say that. The weekend halftime show was awful, but all it did was give me a headache. But
Yo,
out,
like, what are we doing here?
other than that, Jay Z, ever since Jay Z took over the halftime show stuff, he has made the right decision every single time. Shout to Hove.
But I could have did without. I could have did without that open truck door.
Bumping bananas, Boricuas bumping bananas is crazy. Triple B's.
Yeah, what's it called? Apparently, that couple. Apparently, allegedly, that couple that kissed like they were getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they actually got married on stage. They said they asked. That's what I'm going to keep saying. Apparently, because I don't know how true it is, but they said that they asked Bad Bunny to come to the wedding, and he declined, but then invited them to the Super Bowl to be part of the performance.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice if it's true.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
and then what's it called? Somebody did a video saying, "Hey, did you catch who was dancing with the other dancers?" And it was like a quick shot of Cardi B was part of the performance.
Oh, but they didn't perform this song that the Duchess
Yeah,
was
they didn't.
certain that I knew.
Yeah, they didn't. But what's it called? I think honestly, I'm gonna say what the worst part of the performance was not the Boricuas bumping bananas. It was Lady Gaga calling herself dancing with those stiff ass elbows and shoulders.
I'm like, okay, like you're a talented person. You're a very talented person. There's just because you're talented at something, don't mean you're talented at everything. Mariah Carey knew her role. I'm not a dancer. One mic, one voice,
One
one
band,
sound, one
one sound.
sound, one Gaga. You don't need to do all that. I
Yeah,
loved it though. I forgot because Lady Gaga has like these like eclectic songs.
mm-hmm.
I forgot she can really sing.
She sang her ass off, but she didn't. But
Then she
dancing
ruined it all.
by do like I don't know.
What
She was
was
trying to
the
do the bruck up. I don't know if she
she?
was.
She was. I'm like, why is she spinning double dutch? Why?
I know it's like niggas in the
It's,
background about
yo,
to jump in.
if I would have seen one of these,
If the party was over.
oh snap! I want a double dutch with you.
You keep spinning the road just for a while.
She
I'll
kept
jump in with a smile.
like, yo, this is mysterious work. Mysterious work.
It was
Oh man,
like what in the world? It was like, yo, she tore both her AC joints when she could have just held the microphone pole and sang.
man, just sing the thing. Just sing the thing. Then if she sang in Spanish, I say sing it, girl. And then she hit the double dutch skirt board. I'm like, dang it, lady. Dang it, lady.
Like, what is in the what in the
LG,
haberdashery?
LG, man, you can't be doing that, LG, man.
Oh man, she was stiff as an LG.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the LG in my room had more movement, got more movement. got way more movement, man. But
Yeah,
shout out to
see,
Lady Gaga, man.
yeah.
Shout out to her. She did. As far as her singing went,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely wonderful. Like I said, I forgot she can sing because she has like the songs that made her famous were just these eclectic, weird sounding, where she was singing and you could tell like she's a decent singer, but it's like okay, but like that how she was singing there, the song that she has with Bruno Mars that she performed, and when she was in that movie Stars Born, like she
Mm-hmm.
really like that. I forgot she can really get active on that mic. But yes, you're absolutely right. That was the worst thing that happened on that stage.
Besides,
No, the bumper bananas, though it was strange and
mm-hmm.
was unexpected, it was for like 3 seconds. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
3 seconds ain't going.
but everybody yelled pause when they saw that. I know America.
Yo, there was somebody did a video. There was like, yo, they said the best part of the performance, and they showed Bad Bunny fall through the roof, and then he was like, yo, everybody's like, yay, hey, and he's like, oh, what was that?
That was very unexpected. I'm like, why did they do that motion towards each other? I
Like, yo,
said, did
oh,
they
what
just
was
did they just bump bananas? Unbelievable. No, on the
oh
Super
my
Bowl.
goodness.
On Super Bowl Sunday, on the Lord's Day.
I know these curious George ass niggas
The
drinking bananas.
vicarious Boricuas.
Why are they vicarious?
I said by
Oh,
curious.
I thought you said vicarious. But to who?
Vicarious Boricuas bumping bananas, man. Unbelievable. On international television. 140 million people watching y'all bump bananas.
Yeah, I'm surprised the crowd is.
Yo, if everybody would have been like, hey, yo, at the same time,
That would
that
have
would
been
have been
hilarious.
I would have to watch every Super Bowl halftime for that reason and that reason alone. I'm not even really a Super Bowl halftime guy. I usually don't watch them, but because I knew racist white people were boycotting it, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to sit down. Did you see Jake Paul talking crazy about the whole thing?
Yeah, he need to shut the fuck up.
But all right, he called Bad Bunny a fake American. His number one boxing attraction is Amanda Serrano, who's Puerto Rican. Why would you do that? Like you have no self-aware. And then he tried to say his joint was hacked. Like, bro, you already bumped them gums enough for Anthony Joshua to separate your jaw from your body. Why are you doing this? You not learn your lesson?
Nope. You want Serrano to break the other side of his fucking face.
And then like one of my coworkers, he was like, "Yeah, I didn't watch the halftime show because." And the weird thing is, he like hates Donald Trump. He hates like he's fairly liberal, and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't watch the halftime show because I felt like it was too political." And I'm like, "But he's a white guy, so it's just like." But the one thing I'm glad he didn't say was that he watched the Kid Rock thing instead, because I would have been like, "So you would have rather listened to a dude who openly said he wants to fiddle little girls on a song than watch like if that should be politicized." But yeah, that's what a lot of people did. They're like, "Oh yeah, America." I'm like, every single one of y'all are racist. Everybody who watched the Kid Rock thing is racist and gay.
They showed dudes. They were showing dudes hopping around, look like they're Hopping around with no shirts, tight blue jeans, and some cowboy boots, not even
Bruh.
dancing to on beat.
So you rather watch meat and Wranglers than Cheeks? You rather be a meat wrangler than a cheek clapper
Oh Jesus!
because they brown.
It's like you don't want to clap cheeks, you want to wrangle meats. That is crazy.
You over here and they over here, Kid Rock,
That dude hasn't been relevant.
unbelievable. He hasn't been relevant since that midget that he used to hang out with died, or little person. I think midget's illegal or something.
Midget died.
Unbelievable.
Like free speech, you know. That's politically incorrect.
Unbelievable. Y'all would rather, because I don't even understand it. It's Latin. You knew if any Latina was good, Latin person was going to be performing, there was going to be carnival behaviors going on.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't have anybody had carnival outfits on, but I ain't mad at what they did.
They had cataclysmic cheeks shaking during the Super Bowl.
And you wanted to listen to Kid Rock.
Kid Rock talking about, hey, fiddle fiddles.
Hey, fiddle, fiddle, bring your kids in the middle. Like that's what you want.
Insane. But every single one of y'all, I just understand it now. You don't like women. You like children and men and racism. I can't believe y'all gauge yourself into racism or racism yourself into gay. I don't know. But yeah, no, everybody who watched that instead of the halftime show.
He's like, sir, they are gay. Gay.
Yeah. All I can say is that he's gay. Like, that's all I can say. Absolutely beautiful show.
I wanna know why are you gay? Yeah, I like to know.
The Kendrick Lamar performance was good. It was great. The only thing, the sound was a little weird during the Kendrick Lamar show, but yeah, specifically the last two Super Bowls, the games, how the 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 story of both of those games was the defense. And I love it. Like, I love it. The story of those games were the halftime performances and the defense. I was on the wrong side last year because I'll root for history over anything. But the game, even though it wasn't going the way that I would have wanted to go, I was again. I'm a Jets fan. I have no horse in the race. Even if I bet for it, I want a good game. What I love is good defense. Absolutely love it. So shout to that. I'm trying to think if there's any other storylines we need to cover before we wrap this up. We did halftime show, commercials. Absolutely horrendous. They get worse every year, to be honest. Like last year there was the cream, the Sarah V. That joint was funny. This year, the Ben Stiller joint was kind of funny.
yo, I that was my favorite one. It was like
That was my favorite one.
he was
That was my
so
favorite one. But
jealous.
it was I shouldn't say it was kind of funny. It made me laugh. It actually did make me laugh.
Yo, that dude was so mad. He decided
He
he
decided
decided
to be Jeff Hardy.
yeah. He did a shooting star press and damn near killed himself. Yo, he's like, oh, this is
If they ain't the most White Goodman commercial, that was the only commercial I enjoyed. The
yeah, I
only
think
one. There
yeah,
was a couple ones that were like decent, but that was the only commercial that really stood out to me. The Key and Peele or the Michael Key joint, the fact that they showed that twice, that horrendous commercial, those times, two times. I'm like, yeah, State Farm got too much money.
because they pay for you to play that shit
Twice. State Farm. I used to work for State Farm. State Farm got too much money.
Yeah, that is yeah, because I think that was the first commercial that came on.
And I'm like, NFL, really? That's the display you put on first?
Yeah, it was yeah, I just felt like that commercial was more so they're trying too hard to be funny
Yeah.
rather than it being organic. Cause it's like with the Ben Stiller commercial, it's like they already had commercials building up to where he was just so frustrated with the dude always singing in falsetto. And then when they
He had the flip. And so I'm thinking he's walking off the stage because he's mad, but he walked on the stage to five up him just to Kirkpatrick his leg. Just to Kirkpatrick, just to plummet to his death.
And then he's like, I'm all right. And then falls off the stage again. Yo, he's Jeff Hardy. So, oh, son of a bitch. Yo, he Jeff Hardy himself off that was hilarious, yo.
He went from White Goodman to Jeff Hardy.
Nobody upstages me. Nobody.
Yeah. And then he ended up under the stage.
How you fuck up the entire performance because the dude flips? He's like, oh.
You're singing falsetto. Now you do acrobatics.
All right.
Okay. Okay, I got something for you. Watch. I got it. Yep, I got it.
And what sucked is that I really don't remember any other commercials.
Bruh, it was bad, man. A lot of bad commercials. MAGA or Maha made a commercial. They were like, stop eating processed foods. I need people to understand most foods in general are processed. It is not processed food that's the issue. It's ultra processed foods that are the issue. Because guess what? Bread is a processed food. Cheese is a processed food. Milk is a processed food. Like, I don't understand why these people are trying to act like
yeah, because what do you think milk has to go through?
Regular food has been made an enemy. There has been no health guidelines that said you should eat Cheetos Puffs over over a steak, over some chicken, over some eggs. There's been no health guidelines that's ever done that ever. So why are y'all doing that? Y'all used the Super Bowl for your nonsense propaganda, and yeah. I don't that was one of the commercials that stood out to me. I said, so y'all spending $4.8 million on this ad?
Yeah, because it's like, what do you
the
think
taxpayers are paying for?
It's like, what do you think the like? What do you when you look on your bottle of milk and it says ultra pasteurized, what did you think that was?
Like,
What do you think that it's like, it's a process. Oh shit. Ultra pasteurized is a process. So what did you think?
like juice is a processed food. Like, so no, it's not. It's ultra processed foods that are the issue. So,
Like shit, when you
because
try to
like
make oat milk.
to make flour
Mm-hmm.
is so you make flour. That's a process because you do the wheat, you grind it. The process to make flour is a process. The process to make bread is a process. Like, so it's not like it's ultra processed foods. It's the stuff that, like, I'm looking over here. We got Doritos. Like Doritos, eating too many Doritos is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Eating whole foods. There's been no health guidelines from anybody that ever said you should feed your kid Cheetos puffs over over fruit, over real cheese, over name whatever whole food you want.
Mm-hmm. There's a process. It's all processed.
Like, oh, you should cook everything with olive oil. Yeah, yeah, olive oil is a processed food.
So there's nothing that you're consuming that doesn't go through a process. Unless you just walk.
And what I mean
Say,
by what I mean by process isn't necessarily like, okay, you cutting you going to a butcher and cutting up the meat. Like I'm just talking about like you're transforming it from one thing to another thing. So when you
mm-hmm.
transform milk into butter, that's a butter's a processed food. Ghee
Shoot,
is a processed food.
shit,
Oil is a processed food.
when
All
they
oils
when they
are
do
processed.
when folks make their own oat milk, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Almond milk, that's a process. Like, these are processed foods. So like, don't please do not make the stupid make you stupid. Like, I think the great American philosopher, I think he's American, Mark Twain, once said, like, don't argue with idiots because they'll always win, because they'll drag you down to your level and beat you with experience. Something like that. So it's just like, like
Oh snap! That was hilarious.
yeah, it's like, so like, just don't fall into the stupid stuff. Understand that this guy he went out here and said Tylenol is going to cause autism, and then went back 5 minutes later and said, yeah, we was wrong. And then had Donald Trump struggling trying to say acetaminophen. He sat there and watched him too. He didn't even tap him like, bro.
Is what?
No,
Yeah,
Donald Trump would have been like, Donald Trump would be like, I got this.
Yeah, yeah, he about to turn into the Macho Man. The cream rises to the top. The fuck are you talking about? It's like, the cream rises to the top, yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. Okay, I think we covered the whole Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I think we covered everything. We did the commercials, we did the halftime show, we did the game.
The referee at the beginning before the coin toss, he looked like he did not want to be there at
I didn't
all.
watch the coin toss.
Now the coin toss, he got the coin because they had the coin in a special box, and then he had to put the coin in front of the camera and show the viewers which one was heads and which one was tails. And the look on his face, he was like, and then turned it and then walked over because he got to be on camera. Then you got three guys who don't even represent either one of the teams that are playing. Ain't not one of them been a Ram.
Seahawks
No,
is a
that's a
Seahawk.
Ram. Neither one of them been a Seahawk or a Patriot. Like Peyton Manning damn sure shouldn't be there. But for some odd reason, because he got his ass whooped by the Seahawks, and and he got his ass whooped for years by the Patriots, and he got the nerve to be on the field for that
I'd be
shit.
so mad if I was Peyton Manning. I'm like, you got me out here with all this forehead, embarrassing myself.
Oh,
Embarrassing myself, man.
two teams that I should hate the most. I gotta be on this. I gotta be here for the coin toss.
My worst loss in the Super Bowl. His worst loss in the playoffs is to the Jets, but we're not gonna go. We're not gonna
Yeah,
bring
we
that
ain't gonna
up.
go down there. We ain't gonna go down there.
Um,
That referee looked like he did not want to be there. And he wouldn't even hand the coin to Joe Montana. It was like they kept hesitating. They kept talking. It's like, yo, give him the fucking coin so he can flip it.
Unbelievable. But yeah, that's it, man. This is shoot. Today's we're recording on the
Ninth.
9th. I guess it's not official. We'll do it. We'll do it next week. Next week, this podcast will be officially 5 years old.
Jeez.
So yeah. No, thank y'all so much for your support. Who's supported us for the last 5 years? Shoot, or even the past day. It might be your first time listening. So we appreciate y'all along this journey. And I don't know what episode we on. We'll figure it out.
It's been a while. Oh man.
But Zero, what's your parting shot?
My part of the shot is Corey Holcomb's a bitch. This dude really hit a woman in the face. It's on camera. He's trying to blame TMZ for him losing gigs. No, TMZ isn't the reason why you're losing gigs. The footage is the reason why you're losing gigs. It's like the same person who came out and said you is like the health is like you're gonna get the healthiest baby if you have a child with a 16-year-old. This is the shit that came out of his mouth. Joe Budden tore his ass up on the podcast, on the Joe Budden podcast, and then he came back with the weakest jokes that I've ever heard in my goddamn life. Him and Craig Smith. It's like they came with it's like y'all supposed to be, yeah.
Wow.
Y'all can't, it's like y'all supposed to be comedians and couldn't think of anything hilarious to say. But then again, Corey Holcomb's never been funny to me. But it's
Never.
like, what's it
Never.
called? But it's like y'all comedians, y'all do this shit for a living. Well, a little like Corey Holcomb ain't gonna be doing anything for a living soon. But it's like this is what you do for a living. And Joe Budden had better jokes than y'all did. Now, of course, Joe Budden, he's a wordsmith. We know that he could put pen to paper. But when a rapper has better insults than a comedian who at some course of his career would have to insult hecklers and you on the fly and you couldn't think of anything witty to say. It's like it's already bad enough you hit a chick in the face and it's caught on camera. Now you want to blame everybody. Now you don't want to take accountability for any of your actions. It's like he got tough with a woman, but ain't do nothing to Anton Daniels.
Who said he was blowing jobs for the culture.
He said, step outside and you kept your ass seated. Now, folks was like, Anton said, say it again. And he didn't say it again, but he's like, dude said we can go outside. We can settle this. And he got up and he went to go outside. And Corey Holcomb sat on his ass. So I ain't
That's
trying to hear
why.
nothing
That's why he was brave enough to fight a woman.
because he's too soft to fight another man. But my parting shot is Corey Holcomb's a bitch. It's like
Always has been, always will be.
and what's it called? In the great American philosopher, um, Slinky Johnson or Dave Chappelle said, "I hope all the bad things happen to you and only you." That's our parting shot.
My parting shot is it's Black History Month. I got a Black History fact. This is something I found fascinating. So, in 1324, a lot of Black people know about this man, king, known as Mansa Musa. He passed through Cairo on his pilgrimage to Mecca and had so much money. He crashed the gold economy for over a decade. He brought so much gold with him and gave away so much gold that it lost its value and took 10 to 12 years for the economy to restabilize. Y'all think Jeff Bezos got money? Y'all think Elon got money? Y'all ever heard the term FU money? This dude has so much money, he said F money money. He was giving it away. Y'all thought Oprah gave stuff away. This man wrecked an economy with so much, he had so much bread. He wrecked an economy for a decade. So when they tell you that Black people were nothing, when dark-skinned people were nothing, when they were savages and things of that nature, just think about Mansa Musa. And just think about one other person, because the wealth that Mansa Musa had, it's rumored, had nothing close to what King Solomon of the Bible had. Apparently, King Solomon is the richest person in history. He had so much wealth they couldn't surmount it. And Mansa Musa was so wealthy, they made gold less valuable. He gave so much of it away. While all these billionaires hoarding it for themselves, he handing out gold bricks like they Skittles.
Hey, what's it called? If he was alive today and he had that much money today, he would have he would write a check that's big enough to bounce the bank.
Not the bank. Every
Every
bank
bank. Yo, we ain't got the funds to cash this shit.
to cash anything.
Every chart way got to pool their money together and it still ain't enough.
I can't even
Oh.
imagine. This is historical. This has been historically documented. Cairo, Egypt. You remember ancient Egypt used to be one of the. Now this is way past ancient Egypt, but
Mhm.
still a whole economy. He's like, oh, you looked at me. Here's some gold. Give him 30 bricks.
Oh, you said excuse me, he get 50 bricks. He said, thank you for your kindness. He said I was kind, 50 more bricks.
And they like, we got so much of this, we don't even want it. Imagine having so much gold you don't even want it anymore. No,
So I,
like the gold you gave away, the country you were giving it to didn't want it anymore. They're like, this don't even mean nothing. That's my part of the shot. That Black history includes people like him.
mm-hmm.
Black history includes wealth. Black history includes wealth. Black history, there has been no body of European descent that has ever accomplished the things that Mansa Musa did. Like I said, they all hoarding it for themselves. This dude had so much money, he destabilized the country economically because he gave so much of it away.
The green rises to the top, yeah. That's
This
crazy.
dude had F money. But that's my parting shot. Thank y'all so much for watching and or listening. Thank y'all so much for your support over the years. And if this is your first time watching or listening, please hit the subscribe button on the YouTube and or podcast, however you listen to the podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever other podcast platforms are on. We're on all of them. I don't know. Pick one, whichever one you listen to, whichever one you're listening to this to. And we'll be bringing you still great content, more laughs, more jokes, more love, charisma, and debonairness. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, the cream rises to the top, yeah.